Hey boys and girls, we're talking about lesson 5.3 today, which is just multi-step inequalities. Very much the same as a multi-step equation, except for we have the inequality sign. So all the same rules that we used way back in chapter 2, we will be using again here. So in the first example, we have a b divided by 2 plus 3 is less than 9. So b divided by 2 plus 3 is less than 9. For us to get the b by itself, we first have to get rid of the things that are farthest away from the b. Remember, we're going to undo the order of operations. So we're going to get rid of this plus 3 by subtracting 3 from both sides. That leaves me with a b divided by 2 is less than a 6. Now to get the b by itself, we have to undo that it is being divided by 2. So we're going to multiply both sides by that 2, and we end up with a b is less than 12. And that would give us an open circle at 12 and shaded to the left. Now every time you see something highlighted, that's going to be a problem that I'd like you guys to try on your own, and we'll do that when we get back to class tomorrow. So same exact process for the highlighted problem here, and remember that if you multiply or divide by a negative, we got to flip our signs. Alright, example number 2. We're going to use the exact same process here again. I will help you guys with a spinning wheel of death, I guess. And there we go, everything's back to normal. And again, just like we did in chapter 2, we're going to first distribute to get rid of our parentheses. So we're left with a 2 times p, which is a 2p, a 2 times 7, which is a 14. The parentheses are now gone, and all I do is bring down all of the other parts of the problem that I have not yet used, and I can then combine my like terms. So I have a 4p and a 2p, which is a total of 6p's plus 14. And remember, combining like terms happens on the exact same side of the equation or the inequality. So now we're going to undo, subtract 14, subtract 14. We're left with a 6p is less than an 8 minus 14 is a negative 6. Divide by 6, divide by 6, which means p is less than a negative 1. Now you might be thinking because we have a negative here that we need to flip the sign, but only if we divided by a negative. The number that we divided by was positive, so p is less than a negative 1. Again, that's an open circle at negative 1 shaded to the left. And again, I'm asking you guys to do this one on your own. We will do this in class as just a quick warm-up to remind ourselves that we know how to do our work. Alright, example number 3. Same kind of a process here, folks, except for this time we're going to have just a couple more steps. So I'm going to actually do my distributing over here because I'm going to run out of space otherwise. So after distributing, we're left with a 2h plus 12 is greater than a negative 24 plus 3h, because a negative 3 times a negative h makes a positive 3h. Now I want all of my h's to be on one side, so to keep things positive, because I like things to be positive all the time, I'm going to move the smaller number to the larger number side. So a minus 2h from both sides, minus 2h's, and I'm left with now a 12 is greater than a negative 24, and that's just 1h plus an h. Now because I want h's by themselves, I have to get rid of this minus 24. The opposite of a minus 24 is plus 24. So we do that to both sides. Those cancel. H is less than a 36. So we're going to have an open circle at 36, again shaded to the left. So these processes are fairly similar over and over and over again. If you struggled with these things in chapter 2, you're going to have to ask for some assistance to make this a little bit easier for you. Now there's a couple special circumstances that I want you to be aware of, so make sure you get this stuff into your notes again. So same processes, we're going to distribute all of our numbers into the parentheses to get rid of them. So this turns into an 18. A negative 3 times a positive 8 becomes a negative 24c. A negative 3 times 4 makes a negative 12, greater than or equal to a negative 24c, and then we have a plus 6 because a negative 6 times a negative 1 makes a positive 6. Now because I want all of my parentheses to, or my variables to be on the same side, I'm going to end up moving those things. But first, we want to combine our like terms. So an 18 and a minus 12 makes a plus 6. And then we have a negative 24c. So I'm trying to make sure that we have all of our information correct before we get going. And now our last step here, our next step, getting all of our c's on one side. You might start to see a pattern here that the c's are the exact same thing, so our c's cancel. And we're left with 6 being greater than or equal to 6 because when we moved all of our c's to one side, they cancel. This is a true statement because 6 can be greater than or equal to a 6. If this happens when our variables cancel, this is called an all solutions, just like we did back in chapter 2. Okay? Now you might guess that letter B here is going to be no solutions, but we'll have to double check to make sure. So again, we're going to distribute. When we distribute, we're left with 8m minus 8m minus 20. That stuff is greater than or equal to 46. So we combine our like terms. 8m minus an 8m is 0m's, so we're left with a 46 is less than or equal to a negative 20. This is not a true statement, so like we assumed, this is a no solution. Remember, if your variables cancel and the inequality is true, it's all solutions. And when your variables cancel and the inequality is false, then it would be no solutions. This is what your assignment is, and hopefully you guys enjoyed your day off with me. I'm sorry that my son is sick. He's taking a nap right now. We'll be heading to the doctor a little bit later. See you guys.